morning show where we talk about the latest topics in entertainment. I'm Brittany Jones-Cooper.
I'm Shannon Coffey.
I'm Allie Colbert.
And I'm Lucas Tim. Hi, everyone. How we doing? Tuesday. Should we jump right in?
Yeah, let's jump right in.
Okay. The internet is shook because Idris Elba is trolling everyone amid rumors that he will star as the next James Bond. He even tweeted a cryptic selfie with the caption, "My name's Elba, Idris Elba," adding to all the buzz.
Guys,
what do we think about this?
I don't like how they're toying with our emotions with
I know.
this. Yeah. This has been a rumor since 2015.
Yes, this has been a rumor for a while, and it seems like he's shutting it down, although I would have loved to have him as our next James Bond.
Is he shutting it down?
Well,
yes, he said, don't believe the hype.
Right, and the truth is that...
I believed it.
I still believe it,
I still believe it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the truth is that Daniel Craig still has Bond 25 to start filming in December, won't come out until like 2019. And so this means that they wouldn't even be looking for new Bond until 2020, which means he'll already be 50, not saying he couldn't do it.
Right.
Stop saying he's too old to play Bond.
He's not too old, and he has that presence. And apparently the producer, which I have to say her name, Barbara Broccoli. Seriously, I don't know, I get it every time. Wants to, of course, cast a person of color in that title. It's about time. It's like how many years has we not had a...
I don't know why people get so hooked on the race of fictional characters. Like, people are like, James Bond, he's white. I was like, no, he's not, he's fake. Like, he can be purple. Like, it doesn't matter. And I think it's like, we're way overdue for a man of color to play the role. Idris, I still think, even at 50, the man looks 35.
Listen, if he came at me at 75 years old, I'd still say yes. Like, this man was born to be a leading man.
We will always say yes to Idris.
I will always say, have you seen him in The Mountain Between Us with Kate Winslet? Like, that movie, like, my mom was like, you have to watch this movie. And I was like, okay, Mom. And then I watched it, and I was like crying and dying, and I couldn't sleep that night for many different reasons. I mean, he would just make such a good James Bond, not just because, like, he's hot, but he has, like, an acting range that I feel like no other Bond before him has. Really, they kind of they're kind of one note.
I would say that.
I think so. I think in the past they've been one
Bond
note.
franchise.
I will. James Bonds of the past all suck ass.
Pierce Brosnan was not like the best actor. He just looked the part.
No,
his best role was in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes.
True.
As a stepdaddy.
I don't know why people are so hung up on Bond being like, you're like saying like, oh, he's gonna be 50. Like, who wants a young 20-year-old James Bond like that? That would just be a mess. You know what I mean? Just like snapping everything he's doing.
Like taking pictures on his Instagram.
Like, check out my story, Bond. Like, that would be so horrible. Like, you need an older salt and pepper Bond. Like, that's
millennial Bond would be terrible.
Oh my God, that would be horrible.
Well, hopefully we'll never get to that.
I want Idris, but there are some other men out there. Tom Hardy's name has been thrown around, and we had Sam Heughan on Build recently. He was in The Spy Who Dumped Me, and he really, I saw that movie, he really kind of embodied Bond in that movie. So I could see somebody like that doing it as well, but my heart's always gonna be
another British white guy, yeah, of course.
He's Scottish,
he's great, Scottish. He's great, he's great. But I'm also, in real Idris news, I'm really excited because he is going to be starring, directing, and producing a modern retelling of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. He's playing Quasimodo, guys.
You can barely get that out without like...
My favorite Disney childhood movie is Disney's The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Why?
Interesting choice.
Why? Because I wanted to live in a cathedral.
Okay.
I really liked gargoyles. And I don't know, I like to sing in churches. But I literally, I'm not joking, last weekend I watched 2 songs from it just because I wanted to watch it. Hellfire and God Help the Outcast. And also, that movie is very intense for a kid's movie. But it is part of what made me who I am today.
I wish we were friends in middle school because I always used to get hit in PE class in the face, and this part of my face would always get swollen, and people would be like, oh, hey, Quasimodo.
Oh, I would have been like...
Yeah, and you would have been like, hey, Shannon,
I would have been your Esmeralda. I would have helped you.
Oh, my God.
I remember when I was...
I would have beat those kids up for you, Shannon.
Thank you. Yeah.
When I was like 4 years old going to try to get into this school, you know, do those preliminary meetings or whatever? Apparently this is at the end of it, the teacher goes, and my mom goes, I've just never met a 4-year-old so cultured. Someone said, refer to the cathedral as Notre Dame, and Lucas goes, no, it's Notre Dame. Notre Dame is the college. And she was like, what have you done? And my mom's like, she's watched the movie 1,000 times. That's why. My mom's like, oh, we just read to him a lot, you know? But
wow, that is a dark window into Lucas's past.
Oh yeah, if you want to know how I was as a 5-year-old, just watch that movie, be like, wow, Lucas was fucked up, but I loved it.
I will say that I like to watch Idris movies because he looks like Idris and he's fine. I can't say that I want to see him looking like Quasimodo.
Yeah,
it's gonna be hard to go from Quasimodo to Bond.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a little hard.
Yeah.
I like to see muscles.
But if anyone can do it, he can. Don't you hate getting those random LinkedIn requests? Well, so does actor Russell Crowe. The star recently tweeted there definitely should be a piss-off option for LinkedIn requests. And the internet went crazy wondering if Russell has an account himself.
Wow, the internet keeps going crazy.
Internet is shook. It's crazy.
Guys, do you have LinkedIn accounts? Do they harass you with emails?
You wanna?
So I guess that like Russell Crowe doesn't have a LinkedIn account, but LinkedIn is harassing him saying he needs to get on LinkedIn, which like he doesn't. He's fine without LinkedIn. I don't think people are finding movies for Russell Crowe being like, look at this guy on LinkedIn.
See, I thought that he did have one because that's how he got that role in Les Mis, because he lied about being able to sing.
Yeah, he could sing. On the skills category, yes.
Burn.
Yes,
that was like very awkward for everyone in the theater. I mean, he clearly can't sing. Like, why did they do that?
And also they chose to do like
yelling.
you live sing it, and you're like, this is uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was
so
really,
bad.
really
It
uncomfortable.
sounds like he swallowed a bunch of cotton balls and you're like, oh! And you're like, oh, someone's clearing
why
it
did
out.
they do that?
It seemed like a painful experience for him as well.
Yeah, it made more like Anne Hathaway dying. I'm like, oh God, at least she doesn't have to listen to him sing anymore. Sorry.
Zingers.
I was once told when I was an intern that if you're not on LinkedIn, you don't exist.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's true anymore.
I got told
Or was
the
that
same
ever true?
thing, and as an actor, I'm like, you know what? It doesn't make sense for actors to be on LinkedIn, and I tried it, and it's the worst formatting, and
It's
you're
not
like,
good for the art.
oh, and so I'm just like, why are you forcing actors to be on LinkedIn? Leave us alone.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for actors.
But
I
lots of
have an
people do
account. Yeah, I have an account.
Yeah.
I've always had one. I maintain it. It's only really useful if you're unemployed. Like if you have a job, it's not really, there's no point. It's just like they suggest jobs for you and you can like connect to people. So there is a use for it. But yeah, if you're like a stand-up comedian or an actor, I can't
And they're always
you don't know how you would like get a job from that.
Right,
Yeah,
but a
they're
lot
just
of people
like-
do find jobs on LinkedIn and connect with people that
Right.
way. So like I see,
Yeah.
I really
people that
don't
are not
think
like doing
they do.
stuff like us dressing up and pretending we're Justin Bieber.
No, I've never met someone who got a job off LinkedIn, but I have met people who've been stalked, where they like blocked someone on every other social media, and they're like, oh, this person found me on LinkedIn.
Right,
And now they're
LinkedIn's
congratulating me. Yeah.
Right.
On my work.
My grandma wrote to me happy birthday in a LinkedIn message.
Yeah.
I was like, you have my number.
I was gonna say, did she also call or text you?
Yeah, no, it's
Just through LinkedIn.
just through LinkedIn. It's weird, like the social, like
The social aspect of it. Yeah, the random reaching out. I still get I haven't checked mine in a few months, but I get some of the emails like, this so-and-so sent you a message. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But funny, I can't even say this. My girlfriend's aunt, she's never had a job. She made a LinkedIn and just said employed nothing at nowhere, whatever, because she wanted a LinkedIn. I'm like, well, then what's the purpose if like you don't?
There's no purpose.
Yeah.
I'm still on your grandma reaching out through because for me, if somebody reaches out to me through LinkedIn, I know they're not a real friend.
Oh yeah,
So
I mean, I know for a fact that my grandma isn't my real friend, but I just think it's funny the way people. It's like if you're like pursuing someone and they stop answering your text messages, but once in a while they like message you on Snapchat,
Yeah.
or like view your LinkedIn profile. It's
Right.
just like the trickle down of how people still try and stay involved in your life.
The view on the LinkedIn profile is a big like passive aggressive like I'm thinking about you, text me or something. Like,
Yeah,
absolutely.
but they're still looking at your LinkedIn.
What
I gotta check mine. I want to check mine today.
I was gonna say Russell Crowe needs to look at his friends because you can only get suggested if somebody's given your email, really.
Right.
Like, because you get like points for that.
Oh.
So he needs to look at his friends.
Wait, what do you use points for on LinkedIn? What do they give you?
I think you can like buy like.
You like get a better profile. Like,
Yeah, you can get like upgrades.
Oh, like, and
stuff.
I think comes up more frequently in people's like searches or people like you or whatever.
The best is you can see who searched you.
Right, that's what it is.
That's what the
That's
perk
good.
is.
So like Russell Crowe could be getting notified, like Anne Hathaway just checked your profile and endorsed your singing skills.
Right, yeah. Endorsed, yeah.
1 star.
I think I may now make a fake Russell Crowe LinkedIn
Yeah,
for fun.
I'll follow it.
Well, I'm really excited for this next news. Shia LaBeouf is back, but this time he's tatted up. The actor is currently filming for an upcoming crime thriller titled The Tax Collector. While the plot is under wraps, director David Ayer teased Shia's look on Twitter, making it very clear that he's a man that you don't want to cross paths with. I disagree.
There are so many reasons I don't want to cross paths with Shia LaBeouf.
So you like Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah.
I love Shia LaBeouf so much.
Wow.
Since Even
Why?
Stevens, I like am obsessed with Even Stevens. I think Shia LaBeouf is just like naturally like so funny, and I would have never expected him to be such a good actor. And I think he's a great actor in dramas, and I think he's also really hot, even when he has a rat tail, and that's like a really rare occurrence. Someone who can be hot while they have a rat tail, that's a god. That's a sex god.
Wow, there's so much stuff to unpack in what you just said.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised that you feel this way. Because anyone who watches the show knows Shannon has a funky ass type.
I guess so.
With that rat tail.
And I agree that Shia LaBeouf, I've seen him in work that it has been really impressive. Even on the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
When he was in that
Holes?
film. I mean,
Holes.
Holes is fantastic.
Holes is really good.
All of our lives,
Holes is a
right?
great movie.
I mean, Holes is a masterpiece.
Remember that song?
I feel like right now you're just an internet meme come to life. Like the internet is crazy. It's just like Shannon is crazy.
I just love Shia LaBeouf. I think he's deeper than we give him credit for.
Remember when Shia LaBeouf was in that movie theater at the Angelica?
Yeah.
And he was just
I was there.
You were there?
I went there and I sat 2 seats to the right, one row behind him, and I watched him watch Necromaniac. And it was I had an outer body experience, like watching one of your favorite actors just right there watch himself, and like we had really cool moments because sometimes
you in the back of his head.
Yeah, no, well, I had a side angle, I had like a little profile,
Okay.
and sometimes nobody else in the theater would laugh, and we would laugh at the same thing, and I'd be like,
So he would laugh at his own movies.
You would throw popcorn at him.
It's a
Wait,
funny
was this the
movie.
movie? Is this the film?
Yeah, and he was so cute. And we got so many great memes out of that project because he was like crying and he was like, I hate this movie. You know, there's so many moments in that. I just think he's the man that keeps on giving.
What was the thing where he put the bag on his head?
Oh, that was after he did that stint where he like plagiarized all these apologies on Twitter. He put a bag that said like, I'm sorry, I'm not a celebrity or I'm not famous.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
anymore.
not famous. Yeah, didn't he quit acting for a while?
I thought so.
I think so.
But lucky for Shannon, he's back.
Yeah.
I think he is one of those actors though, like Jared Leto, like they kind of choose these weird kind of quirky roles, and he can pull, I'm just saying he can pull it off.
I agree with her that in the tatted up, where he's sitting there with the weird sort of
gives me-
ink placement, that gives you Jared Leto vibes.
From Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
From the Joker.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
I'm saying
sure.
I got that
And
vibe.
it's the
Jared
same
Leto's
director
like
attached to the project.
I think Jared Leto's a more proven actor.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
I'm about to break this
course.
table in half
He
and
won a
stab
supporting.
you with
He won
it.
an Academy Award.
No, I mean, that doesn't mean anything. We all
He was
know
really
award
great in
shows
that
are a
movie.
joke.
Dallas, but no. Well, excuse me. That's how I live my life at those award shows. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Hey, Shia LaBeouf's talented, and so I'm all for it.
I actually
but
think
I don't
he looks
like
good
a rat
here.
tail.
This
He does
is the
look good.
first time he's looked good to me.
I mean, I think he looks great all the time. I've seen him in Uggs, in nasty ass, like soggy Uggs, and I'm still like, he can get
But the
it.
even
Like, there's just nothing he could cover himself with like literal human poop, and I would still be like,
That's nice,
Need to take a bath, you know?
he was
wanna take a
also
bath?
in People Forget This, Charlie's Angels too.
I never forget that. I don't
In that
forget
movie.
anything. Sorry.
They rescued.
Rescued him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a Leo in that. You remember?
Yes.
Like his zodiac
Oh my
sign
God.
is?
Yeah.
But even
What is his
movie.
real zodiac sign? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, we should figure that out.
I don't know. I'm chill. I'm laid back. I'm not a stalker. I'm fine. We're okay. But I haven't paid my taxes, so if he wants to come
The
and
tax
collect.
collector.
Don't say that on camera.
Oh yeah. I'm 1 year behind. It's cool. I'm not getting paid a lot, guys.
That's fine. The president doesn't pay his taxes anyway, so who cares?
Very fair. Well, speaking of Disney, Disney is getting down to business. The studio, thank you guys, thank you so much. The studio has finally unveiled the first look of actress Liu Yifei as Mulan to mark the first day of production of the highly anticipated live-action Mulan. The movie is a reboot of the 1998 animated film and is slated for a March 2020 release.
Ooh.
Woo,
It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good.
I'm living for all of these Disney remakes.
Yes, because it was such an amazing era of Disney.
Yes, they were all so good. Now we get to relive them all over again. My only worry is that like I really want them to live up to, and they're never. It's not like they're gonna be better than the cartoon.
Yeah.
Well,
But the Beauty and the Beast one was really good.
The Beauty and the Beast one
I
was
thought
so
that
good.
was so good. I did not expect it to be that as good as a cartoon, but I think it really holds up. And my biggest concern here is that I want there to be songs in this movie, and I feel like there's not gonna be songs, but Beauty and the Beast had their songs, and I want them to have
their songs. They haven't said no songs though, right?
Yeah.
There has to be songs.
There has to be songs.
I mean,
Wait, why do we think there won't be songs?
Because there
I
was a
read a
song in
rumor.
Cinderella, so it depends on.
If they don't
there
sing
has
"Let's
to
Get
be
Down to
songs.
Business," I'm
That's
gonna
not-
die.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, first of all,
Like, I'm sorry. This was my favorite Disney film. I
Okay.
love that she was like a hero. Let's Get Down to Business. Donny Osmond sang it, and I still liked it. Like, that has to be in the movie.
okay, then maybe.
Brittany Jones Cooper, 82 years old.
Oh, you want me to make it 82 years old? This is based on the same premise as Yentl, which starred and was
girl.
directed by Barbara Streisand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Similar
that's your girl.
premise.
Okay, well,
I'm
let's-
just saying
okay,
the
let's
story
look at
is
what-
iconic and will withstand the test of
Let's
time.
look at what we
100%,
know.
but they need to sing.
Let's look
They
at what we
have to
know.
stay on the same
Let's
page.
just be happy that they did not cast Emma Stone and Scarlett Johansson in the lead role.
Oh my God.
that
thank
can
you.
maybe been a possibility.
Can you imagine?
Because it might have been a possibility. So we're very happy with the casting.
Because then when that happens, definitely the whites are like, but it's just a fictional character.
That's what exactly. It's a fictional Disney princess. Who cares? No, I'm really pumped for Mulan. Mulan's, I think it is such.
Scarlett Johansson will be playing the dragon.
You know, she would be like, and then make a really aggressive.
She's like, other people have played dragons.
Go ask Benedict Cumberbatch who played Smaug in The Hobbit. Ask him first. He has to be up playing a dragon. I'm really happy. Mulan, it really fits the age of like the I'm with her, Me Too, like girl power movement. So I'm really happy for this. I really love the Cinderella live action remake, because especially how they took the Kate Blanchett stepmother character, really made her more well-rounded villain. So I'm really pumped to see what they do with Mulan and build out that world. Because like the Huns and the Emperor, it's really epic and magnificent. So to see this in like live action would be really cool.
And Mushu, the dragon, who
course.
has to be black.
Yes, right. Yes, right.
Eddie Murphy voice, it has to be a black person.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's gonna be so cool.
Or you'll die.
I'm gonna die.
How are they gonna? Oh, and it's directed by Nikki Caro, who directed Zuko's wife, who is a woman. So another good thing.
Also, there's a big LGBT conversation around Mulan and how Mulan dressed up as a boy. The other
Captain
falls in love with him, but then she obviously reveals she's a woman, and he's like, "Woo, thank God!" But it's like, but it is like, you know, it would be cool to see the film like play with that a little more, because I think it is an interesting narrative. I don't think they're going to take that risk.
I know.
But it is.
Like, are they gonna do that bat scene or
It would
whatever
be
when
fun,
they're
though.
bathing? Remember when they're bathing in the
He's
river?
like, I kind of like this dude.
Yeah, remember
And I'm
that?
gonna be like, you can do it.
I really hope that happens.
That'd be amazing.
Well, the phrase "do it for the gram" took on a whole new meaning when the quest of two tourists for a perfect selfie sparked a brawl at Rome's famous Trevi Fountain. The fight between two women aged 19 and 44 eventually spiraled into an 8-person melee until police finally intervened.
Yeah.
This
God.
is so embarrassing.
People are trash.
I'm surprised this hasn't happened sooner.
Right.
If you've been to any of these huge tourist spots where there's people there like crazy with their cameras, I mean, those selfie sticks are weapons.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this I think happens every day. This is just the first time we caught it on camera.
I know.
With two grown-ass women, though, she's 44 fighting in front of a
First
fountain.
of all, the 44-year-old, of course, the Italian-American woman, because that explains why, and I can say that because I am one.
Because you are an Italian-American
woman. That makes sense, yeah. But yeah, no, this is crazy. Way to honor the history of Rome by just getting in a fight at the Trevi Fountain.
True.
But like, that's why they don't probably allow phones like to see the David in Florence or the Sistine Chapel, because people will just like get in fights and like destroy the like 500-year-old artwork or whatever.
Instagram has made people more violent because
yeah.
what they'll
totally.
do for the perfect photo, and I bet they both wanted the perfect position with the statues where they were, and they were beefing
Because
over it.
every like the picture to get in that fountain is like you throwing the quarter in or whatever, and you're like, you know which?
Lizzie McGuire.
Like exactly, and I so like someone fucked that up and they get just like punches thrown.
Yeah.
But at least you know, like their families got their backs even when the fight is so fucking dumb.
Well, if you look, the guy is straight up looks like he's trying to punch a woman.
yeah,
Like,
looks
the
like it. We
man
don't know for
is
sure, but
The man is
very
super
aggressive.
problematic in this one, for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, like I said, I'm surprised this hasn't happened sooner. I'm always interested to see the photos people want to take when they're on vacation. Like, you'll go to these museums where there's the most famous art in the world, and people are just like getting up close to the painting, taking the photo. It's like, that's not going to be a better photo than you can just Google online. Like, are you going to look back at your weird iPhone photo of the Mona Lisa? I don't understand.
Like, oh, the memories. Yeah. It's so great.
Oh,
the selfie of the Mona Lisa, I had to get that.
I snuck a photo of the Sistine Chapel you're not supposed to, of the fingers touching, and I did that and everything.
Yeah, no, I did that girl.
I mean, I think World War III will probably be fought over a selfie, some sort. This is how it begins.
The selfie game is
You should write a screenplay about that.
Oh. I'm down.
Okay.
It's because it's plausible. Yeah. I don't know, tourists in general. I mean, this is what this happens. I try to complain about tourists because it says tourists in NYC in my car, and I just want to say something. Why do they walk so slow?
Tourists?
Why do they walk so slow? I'm sorry. I don't want to.
They're trying to figure out where to go.
Yeah. Walk to the curb.
Walk to the curb. Not
walk to the curb.
Sidewalks are not a modern invention.
Agreed.
Do not stand on them.
People in general have problems walking. Like, they don't know where to stand. They don't know where to stop. They're looking. It's annoying, but I'll give
If you have to tie your shoe, go to the curb. Look at your phone, go to the curb. Wrangle your kids, go to the curb. Do not stand in the middle of the sidewalk.
You
Just
and
saying.
me. We're
okay.
together.
And now it is time for our special guest. Jenny Han is a best-selling author, and many call her the teen voice of this generation. Han's New York Times bestselling novel, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, will be available to stream on Netflix on August 17th. Let's take a look at the trailer for this highly anticipated film.
Junior year. I can hardly believe it.
Thanks, Dad.
We need to talk about your sexual health.
No, please no.
I want you to be safe.
Dad, why are you giving me these?
Don't forget to have fun.
Yes, well, I have a lot of rubbers for that, specifically. I think you should branch out. Make some new friends. Nope. You never know what could happen. That's what I'm afraid of.
My letters are my most secret possessions. I write them when I have a crush so intense, I don't know what else to do. There are 5 total. Peter, the most popular guy in school, Kenny from camp, Lucas from homecoming, John Ambrose from Model UN, and Josh, but he's my sister's boyfriend.
What are you doing? Nothing.
Nobody else knows about them.
Hey, can I talk to you? I really appreciate it, but it's never gonna happen.
I'm sorry, what?
I think it's really cool that you think I have golden specks in my eyes.
Oh my God, it's Josh.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay.
The letters are out.
Women.
Tell me about it.
Here's the thing.
I had to make it look like I liked you so somebody else wouldn't think I liked them.
What if we let people think that we were actually together?
Let's do this. I've never seen you so happy.
Did you mean what you wrote in the letter?
I'm lying to every single person in my life.
Just don't hide yourself, okay, honey?
You can't just sit up in your room writing love letters. You gotta tell people how you feel when you feel it.
I'm with you.
You never saw me.
Ow, 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 ow.
I like me better when I'm with you.
Please give a warm Build Brunch welcome to Jenny Han. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me. This is so much fun.
Your best-selling book, which debuted on the New York Times bestselling list, it's going to be made into a Netflix film, which debuts August 17th, this Friday, To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Tell us about that and that process. We're excited to watch it.
Thank you. Well, it's about a girl who writes love letters to boys when she is trying to get over them, move on. And it's actually from my own life. I used to write love letters when I was trying to get over somebody, and then hers all get sent out. Mine did not.
Okay, so glad you survived that. Yeah.
I survived. None of my letters got sent. However, I did send one love letter myself. I don't know if I've spoken about this publicly. It's to Leo DiCaprio.
Did he respond?
No, he didn't.
We all wrote those letters.
Right? It was just like a little fan mail.
That was a good one to send, the pick one, for sure.
I love that. So the process of writing the book and getting it made into a film, what was that like? Because it seems like it could be really difficult, but you had a best-selling book, so maybe that makes it easier.
You know what? Actually, it was a long process. I think it's fairly common for an author to get a book optioned, but then it's super rare to actually get made. It's just a long kind of a slog. But for this one in particular, I think the biggest challenge was people didn't, early on, producers who were interested didn't understand why she needed to be Asian. Even though like she's Asian.
Yeah, and you're like,
like you see me and you see the book cover, right? Like it's all Asian. But people didn't really understand that. And so then that was like a deal breaker for me.
Right.
So it took time for me to like find the partners who would be on board with that.
So had they asked for you to change the race of the character?
They didn't even realize that was gonna be an issue.
Oh.
Because they'd be like, oh, you know, we're thinking like Shailene, we're thinking, you know what I mean, Belle Fanning. And I was like, oh, they're great. But, you know, the character's Asian.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, this is not up for dispute. She's Asian. Are you excited that the film's gonna be on Netflix? I feel like that's such a great platform for this story to be on.
I am so excited about it. I think partly because I have a lot of fans like in other countries who are super passionate and have been like devoted to the series all along. So I love that my fans in Brazil, you know, Mexico, Philippines, they can all see it at the same time, which is super special.
Yeah, that's great. What is it like to share stories that are so personal to you? I mean, you said like your own experience writing those letters and now having, you know, the world be a part of that story.
Now I'm nervous. I don't know. It's one thing when it's a book, right? Because I don't know. The book world is much smaller and kind of intimate, and then in a movie, it's a little overwhelming because it's just a bigger audience. Yeah. So I guess I'm a little nervous. Now I'm nervous.
No, don't be nervous. Seriously,
we all had the same reaction when we watched the trailer, and we were like, we have to watch. Oh my God, it's so cool. And I love that the main character, Lara Jean, is not like your typical 16-year-old girl that you see in things where she's like out partying. She's more of a stay-at-home, scrapbooking, like very laid back. I can relate. How, like, was that you? And like, how was that? Like, do you think that this needs to be seen represented also?
Yeah, I think so. I was really specifically wanting to present a certain kind of girl that I think is less visible in media. And I think it is great if you want to go party and do all that stuff. I think that's awesome. I also think it's awesome if you just want to be baking some brownies and like hanging out with your dad on a Saturday night. Like, I don't think everyone's ready for the same things
It's so true.
at the same time.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I don't feel like I see that in film and in television stories enough.
I think it's maybe less interesting, but then the job is to like make it interesting, make it still feel really rich and like a complex inner life.
Yeah, I love that because it takes the pressure off. As a teenager, I felt like I was like a loser. Not that I was a loser, I was super cool, but I was like, oh man, I'm not getting wasted and I'm not like doing things that I'm not ready for yet. But I think this is gonna be really cool for teens to have this.
Thanks. Do you think that's why so many people can connect to her? Because even watching that trailer, you know, obviously I'm not in high school anymore, but I was like, I can still identify with this young woman.
I hope so. I mean, so much of me is in the character, and I'm not old, but I'm not I'm not that young. So like, I started writing at a very young age. So that's partly why I got into YA, because I was just out of my teens when I started doing it. But I think that it's just a relatable character, and I think for me, my readers, I meet them when I go on tour, and half of them are adults. So
I love that. That's so cool.
We're at this time now, you know, Crazy Rich Asians is coming out, just came out, which is fantastic. And, you know, when you mentioned it before, how the studios or producers did not even think about why, of course, we'd cast a white girl in it. So does it feel extra special that, like, now you've written this book series, an Asian main character now that's, like, going to be a film with an Asian star? Like, is that extra special right now?
It is for me. I've never had that experience before of seeing an Asian American girl be the lead of a teen movie before. So, you know, with the book, when we were working on the cover, I said I really wanted it to be photographic, so that an Asian American girl could have that experience walking into a bookstore and she sees someone who looks like her be at the center and not the sidekick. You know, and so for me, it's just even more special to have this happen with a movie, because I think it'll reach an even broader audience.
And there's parts of her Korean heritage in the book, so are those also going to be in the film as well?
Yeah, and like it was great that I was on set, and so I could kind of like weigh in on things, and I was like, can we please make sure there's a rice cooker in the kitchen, or like the opening scene, I was there where they were filming it, and she's wearing like sneakers in bed, and she has her feet on the wall, and I was like, not in an Asian household. No, please take them off. And so they were like, oh yeah, sure. But you know, things like that. I think those little details are what make a family feel real.
Right.
Absolutely.
What was that experience like being on set for, you know, I mean, when you're authoring a book, you have total creative control. And then I feel like I would be like micromanaging and like, you know, you can't control everything, but like seeing that vision come to life and also wanting to weigh in, like what was that like?
Well, you know what? I think it's more you can't control anything. That's how you have to like kind of lean into that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I walked into it feeling like the book and the movie are two separate entities, and I have like sold these rights for them to create their interpretation of what it's going to be, and that's their vision. And I just want to be there to like help make that the best, you know, version it could be. And I saw my role as the person who was going to speak on behalf of the book fans, you know, and because I know what they care about and I know what matters to them, so that's how I saw it.
You had a much more a healthy attitude.
Yeah, I feel like that would be so hard.
I think sometimes there's a misunderstanding with fans who are upset at authors about certain things in the movie, and you're going, we actually don't have any control over that. Like, we can give our 2 cents, and in my case, the director was great and the producers were great, and so they were very receptive to my ideas, but that doesn't mean they take every idea.
Right.
And you really can't have like a million people being like trying to direct a ship either.
Right.
So just keep that in mind, book fans, that
Of course.
authors don't really get control.
And there's another book in the series, right? It's called P.S. I Still
2 more
Love You.
books.
Two more books. So where are you at with those books? I know one has been released. Is the other one still in the works?
They're all out.
Okay, cool. And then are you gonna make movies of those?
I mean, I guess we'll see how this one does.
Yeah.
Hopefully. There's no wood here.
Oh yeah, I'll knock for you.
Thank
Would-
you.
Yeah, of course.
Would you ever write the screenplay for your own book?
I mean, I think I would welcome the opportunity to if I was asked. I'm working on a new YA thing also, so I'm just kind of like busy.
So I'm always interested in YA material because I don't read a lot of it, but I do like it when I can like watch it or read it. What makes YA?
What do you like?
Like, well, I wouldn't consider the sci-fi, some sci-fi stuff. Like, I like because YA they do a lot of fantasy, which I really love. So I watch like a lot of some CW shows or whatever.
Or whatever.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
What?
Don't worry.
CW or whatever.
Whatever. Yeah. I'm cool. But what is it YA that makes it so that you can like take more risks, or just like a more why is it such a fascinating genre to write for?
I mean, for me, I think it's interesting because that time of your life is so raw, and you're experiencing so many things for the first time ever, and things are just generally going to be more interesting because it's the first time you're experiencing it. I also think that YA as a designation, there's just so many different kinds, just the way that there are so many different kinds of adult books as well. And I think it's a pretty exciting time to be writing YA right now, just because there's so much. And like when I started out 10 years ago, there was very limited bookshelf space. And the game really changed when Twilight came out.
Yes.
And then suddenly it was like a million more vampire books and then Hunger Games, and there's been these big bumps to where now the bookshelves are quite large.
Totally.
It's amazing. I was gonna say one fun fact I learned about you is that you used to be a librarian, right?
Yes.
Oh yay, my sister's a librarian.
Oh, cool.
Oh my God, you
Yay,
guys
librarians.
are so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I was the school librarian here in New York for 6 years.
Did you ever have to reprimand kids for not returning those books?
I mean, yes. I was like the mean one.
Really?
I like that you claim that.
Yeah, that's
No,
good.
because they would be like eating, and I'd be like, guys, that's not cool. Like,
Yeah.
I've told you a million times, no Cheetos.
Like the books are ruined.
Don't mess with the Dewey Decimals.
Don't.
That's what I'm saying.
But doesn't that make a book better when you're like, wow, a lot of people have read this. Look at all these Cheeto kids. No? Doesn't that, I think it's like it's a popular book. No?
She's like, no.
No.
No, that's good.
That's really not true.
Respect the book.
Respect the book.
We also heard that you're actually and I have this written down on my card here, an expert on the dialogue of the movie Clueless.
That is true.
Yay. Can you please tell us a little about that?
I mean, I think it's a classic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really well done movie, and that's an adaptation as well.
Right.
Of Pride and Prejudice. Wait, no, I'm sorry, Emma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, now I'm embarrassed.
No, that's
messed
okay.
up.
No, you
I'm an
looked
expert.
You're an expert. Add that to the resume.
This is a safe space. We make mistakes all the time.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank
Don't
you.
worry.
Yeah, but I do love it. I hope that To All the Boys will hold that same kind of like place in people's hearts as like a really warm, funny teen love story.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I think it will. I think actually you should resend that letter to Leo. Because I think now is your time. And I think this time he might respond.
I think Leo's dating someone new these days. Like,
He's always dating somebody new, though. That's the
Doesn't
point.
matter, wreck
Could
it.
be you.
Yeah.
We can kidnap that person and get Leo.
We all support you. We will write letters for you to him.
Yeah, I'm going to do
guys.
that.
I appreciate it.
And because we are a brunch show, you're based in Brooklyn, so we have to ask you, what is one of your favorite brunch spots in New York?
Okay, probably, I love going to, it's in Soho.
Okay.
And it's got like green, Jack's wife, Frida.
Oh,
Yeah, and they have a really delicious green
Yes.
sauce they put on their like poached eggs with like cheese. Delicious.
Delicious.
I love it. I love Jack's wife, Frida. And I loved having you on the show today.
Thank you so much for coming.
Joining us. Jenny, thank you for joining us. Don't forget the film adaptation of Jenny Han's book, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, drops this Friday on Netflix. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same table. Thank you, guys.